23. Later, I got a terrible accident. And one of the reasons that I got the accident was because of poor road infrastructure. It was a mere pothole that was in the middle of a road around Lugogo. A young lady was trying to dodge it. She was in her car, which wasn't a crime. But the pothole that was in the middle of a road caused the accident. She hit me, I went up in the air, and coming down, my leg was off. So I lost a limb. Today, as I talk, I'm putting on an artificial limb that costs 70 million. How many people can manage to have that kind of limb in the case they get accidents? So that triggered me to further my political career at a level where I thought I would better serve my people. And the first high level that I joined was councillor at LC5 when Kampala was still a district, referred to as a district, Kampala district. But at the same time, it was the Kampala capital city. During the 7 tenure, he was a councillor. Way back before even any of my contenders, my fellow contenders, joined politics, I was a politician. In 2002, I was an LC5 councillor. And the reason I came was to bridge that gap that was causing havoc. Gap of not having people that could address challenges such as infrastructure challenges. So I became a councillor. At the same time, I was a lecturer at Chambok University. So I believe that we have had a leadership crisis, and that has resulted to having poor service delivery. I'm not in politics to earn money. Yes, I do know that a member of parliament earns quite a lot. But I'm here to serve my people diligently with all the competencies. So I'm offering myself as that person that Kampala requires now in that leadership position, which is going to be very vacant soon. So when you talk about my colleague who is already the mayor, I'm not standing with the mayor, Elias Lukwago, but I'm standing in for a position which is going to be very vacant in the future. All
right. You have articulated properly your leadership journey. Let's now look at this particular race that you're getting. You're running a campaign with a catchphrase, Kampala Yetaga Engineer.
Thank you.
Kampala Yetaga Engineer.
Kampala Yetaga Engineer.
What's behind this phrase?
It's quite important to note that majority or most of the challenges that affect Kampala are engineering related. Challenges that span from poor garbage management to an extent of garbage killing our people. It was very hurting to hear that garbage collapsed. Garbage, which is a resource. In other countries like China, garbage is procured, garbage is bought. Garbage killing people. I felt so bad. As a leader, I said this must stop. I had to go to Korea to study garbage management. But I also studied garbage when I was doing my bachelor's degree and my master's degree. So I have competences in handling garbage in a manner that is accepted by all standards. Garbage is a resource. Garbage should not be just dumped. Garbage should be recycled. Garbage, we can have energy out of garbage. We can have manure out of garbage. And therefore, we need to improve the quality of garbage so that we can use it as a resource.
Agreed. All the people.
The quality is so bad.
All the people have been at city councils, KCCA, including the Lord Mayor himself, Elias Lukwago, at the moment. I've emphasized those very particular points that you're making. Before Kitez happened, he warned about it, saying that Kitez should have been closed about 15 years ago. The vision is there, but the ability to find the resources to actually do some of these things is the problem. How do you solve this problem?
When I was a councillor, we used to have a mayor called Sebana Chizito, who used to go and lobby in the international community.
Mm.
Some time back, I was nominated as one of the most patriotic Ugandans by Turkey. Tika is here because of me. Tika, at least you can ask the minister. When the Tika had almost failed to be, to sign the protocol between Uganda and Turkey, I personally went and visited the minister in charge.
That is the Turkish Agency for International
Yes,
Cooperation.
exactly. Okay. Today, they have given us great services. Quite a lot. Simply because there is that gentleman, Balimwezo Ronald, who went and interacted with the minister, told him to sign the protocol. Today, Tika is great and offering services to our people. So not everything should come from the Ugandan coffers. We must be able to get grants. When I went to Turkey, Turkey had given me 10 fire brigades. Had it not been COVID, I had to sign a protocol between Karaman Kazan, one of the greatest cities in Turkey. The good thing, I went with a media personality because I had to put, I had told them that, if you're taking me to Turkey as one of the most patriotic Ugandan, I have to go with a team of people who will go and perhaps bring that to Ugandans, because we are like going to make a benchmark. So I was given an opportunity to even take between 20 to 40 people to train firefighting. So some of the things can be lobbied. The mayor is supposed to lobby.
So
today we have a team of Japanese who are giving us a grant to work on Chitezi. So a mayor must be able to lobby, because the greatest role of a mayor is to formulate strategies. Is in charge. He heads the strategies and policies that enhance service delivery. So that's one of his roles, and that's what I'm going to do. I will not only look into what Uganda has to provide as budget for our people.
Let's take a little bit.
But also, I want to tell you that majority of our people, because of corruption, they don't want challenges to go away. Yes. I remember a time when SIDA was about to give us a sustainable solution to our garbage challenge by providing us a machine called a carbonizer. But because there were those people that were depending on the trucks, that were depending on, contracts, did not buy the idea of us having a sustainable solution, of having a carbonizer that would basically help us even making bricks that are much more powerful or stronger than concrete.
All right. So what's your model on dealing with the issue of garbage? What would we do?
Number one, garbage is a resource. Garbage is one of the biggest challenges. Because of poor garbage management, we have had our roads get deteriorated very fast because people dump garbage on the streets. And when garbage stays on the streets longer, it creates what we call leachate and eventually methane. Methane is a solvent. When it stays longer, our pavement will dissolve, and eventually you find potholes on the streets of Kampala. So we have to deal away with garbage. When you go to Lake Victoria at the periphery, you will find that you can never step in that water because it's full of garbage. We have nutrients. We can no longer export our fish because it's contaminated with fecal matter. It's contaminated with heavy metals, and therefore also National Water expends a lot of money to treat that water to a state that would be palatable enough to be taken by people. So it spends a lot of money.
That's why I'm asking you as an expert on the issues of
I want to first tell you the challenges.
We understand that those challenges.
No, you may not understand.
We may not have a lot of time to go through all of them. I want you to have ample time to explain on some of the major issues. So having known that challenge that we have, what kind of model are you going to
do? I want to tell you that we should invest more money. We should invest more money in preventive arrangements than the curative.
Okay.
Because 80% of the diseases that affect Ugandans are related to poor hygiene. Today we have the poorest quality of garbage, where people dump even feces in garbage. Someone defecates in a polythene paper and puts in a garbage bin. Someone puts pampers, diapers, they are all put in one garbage skip. And that contaminates further the garbage. But you know there are people that scavenge from garbage. If you go to Chitez, you will realize that garbage is fought for. But this is garbage that is of the poorest quality. It creates quite a number of diseases. So by us preventing that, you will be working ways of making sure that we don't get diseased people who will be unproductive and therefore crash the economy. You get the point? So you work on garbage and prevent people from getting diseases so that you don't spend more money in hospitals.
All right.
You see that?
Maybe
how are we going to do that?
Yes, I want you to break it down. At the moment, we are used to this system where garbage is dumped, like the landfill system. There's been a discussion about...
There's no landfill in Uganda.
Well,
we have a dumping site.
We have a dumping
garbage.
site. So
yes.
I want to understand your model. What do you intend to do as you lobby for funds?
Number one, we need to sensitize our people on better garbage management by separating garbage. Today we have garbage put in together, and at the same time we are telling people to separate garbage. When a trucker goes, they dump the garbage in one truck. We have sensitized our people to separate garbage, but you take one truck to collect that separated garbage. So eventually you are disturbing the people. What we are going to do is to provide enough garbage trucks to be able to collect the garbage. We recycle that is supposed to be recycled. The organic one that we can make manure, we can make composite manure. We can make electricity, energy out of it. So we are going to have a sustainable system, but we are not going to dump garbage anymore when I become the Lord Mayor.
All right.
We need a sustainable system. We have machines that can change this garbage into bricks or blocks that can be used for construction. So I think I have a better idea. We can make energy out of it.
And you expect the resources to come from the donor community and your friends?
Exactly. Even not only donor community, but even government.
All right.
If I have a good team of members of parliament and government understands that Kampala, the capital city of Uganda, the economic hub, needs better budget, I will be able to do that.
Have you been able to look at how much they provide KCCA to deal with the garbage?
Today we had limited funds. But I want to tell you that when I was working on the budget, because I was the shadow minister, we were able to give Kampala over 930 billion to work on its challenges. So that's big money. It has never been given to Kampala. You get the point? So we shall be able to utilize that little resources with our competences, because we are experts at that.
All right.
What we only need is to make sure that we close those gaps where money has been taken in corrupt practices. Right. So I have to close those gaps, and because of the technical competences, I'll be able to do that. Right. The other challenge is the poor road infrastructure.
Let's hear you about the roads.
Today we have 2,110 kilometers of road network. 640 is tarmacked, but even out of the 640 that is tarmacked, 70% of that has outlived the design life. You get that? So we need to revamp majority of our roads. We have the money available, only that people don't know where that money is. We have a law that was made in 2005, the Local Government Rating Act, that provides the property rates and the property rates fund that is supposed to be ring-fenced. So we have a law that ring-fences some of the monies that comes from the jurisdiction where it's collected. For example, if we do collect property tax from Mutungo, that money, according to the law, is not supposed to be used for anything else other than roads in that jurisdiction, garbage collection, street lighting, and I've talked about trains, and garbage management, street lighting, and roads. It can never do anything else.
That law
And the community, the law is there.
The law is there.
Yes. And the community is supposed to form an association to manage that money. The minister can only touch or authorize 25% of that to be used for administration purposes. But that money is ring-fenced. So I'm going to make sure, and I have done this before, this year, I talked to Ministry of Finance to make sure that they release that money, and it should be used for its purpose. Yes, and it's going to be done this time.
Probably this brings us into the discussion of funding for Kampala. As you talk about using that particular law...
Can you allow me to take some water?
Please do. As you talk about using that particular law that ring-fences funding for Kampala, one of the biggest problems our city faces is also lack of funding. And earlier on, you did admit that the money is not enough, and KCC has been budgeting, and the money they have been provided has always remained small. There's been that discussion that what is collected from the center should actually be returned by KCCA to be able to work on some of the challenges within the city. I just want to understand how you address this issue of lack of funding vis-a-vis the will of the government. The government is in charge of the capital city. How do you balance that? How do you get the funding to deal with all these challenges?
You know, government is supposed to fund roads. But we have this law that I've been talking about that is basically very clear. It's very clear. That money shouldn't have gone to the consolidated fund. It's talking about having a fund, a separate fund, where we would see value for money. Because actually, we are not getting enough money because the people are not seeing what that money is doing. But should we implement that law, then the people will be able to have value for money and therefore be able to even give in more money to work on these access roads. These main roads can be worked on by government like it's doing. But we have these small roads that go into our communities. We are together? That money is available, and it's actually enough. And it is a motivator that if actually people would govern their money, because they're supposed to make an association to see that actually there is a value for money. You know, they would even pay more money to make sure that they have better road infrastructure, they have security lighting, they have all that, because that is their money according to the law. Then we have, the donations that we usually get. We have the loans that today as we speak, we have the ADB. We are doing some good kilometers of road network within the city, and they're going on well. Okay, that money is available there for these big roads. I call them big roads because I want people to understand me. Like, for example, from Nakawa to Port Bell, and from from that Airtel roundabout to, which is called Spring Road, to Nakawa to Golobi. That's being worked on, and that's a funded project, ADB funded. So we have projects that are going on, and we only need people that are capable to monitor so that we can get a value for money. And that's the reason that I'm offering myself as an engineer to make sure that I can be able to monitor, because, roads are very funny. For someone who doesn't know the scope of a road, will not know what actually has to be done. There are specifications which are technical in nature. Someone must be able to interpret those documents to know actually what the contractor has got to do. Otherwise, there will be cartels made by technocrats and the contractors. And you as the leader, you may not know actually what you're supposed to receive. But here I am, as an engineer, very competent. I know the layers. I know the thickness of the wiring course. If it's 100, I'll basically measure that 100, and I will see that 100 is met. So you can see that we need the competencies of that nature to have value for money. That's the reason that I'm offering myself as that engineer, as that leader that is coming to bring his competencies to make sure that we have value for money.
All right, Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90. My guest this evening is the Honorable Ronald Balimwezo, engineer. He's running for the position of Lord Mayor in our city, Kampala. We're going to go for a short break. When we return, there are so many other issues. Engineer Balimwezo arrived at Radio 1 here by bike because of a jam.
Exactly.
And we'll try to understand how he intends to deal with the problem of jam. There's an issue of flooding, which also brings in a debate about how drainage channels should be handled in our country, and a number of other issues, including youth unemployment in our country, but also in our city. But also we'll be looking at the issues of relationship between the center and KCCA. If you want to become the Lord Mayor, you know the city is under the central government. How do you relate, taking into account the fact that maybe the NRM will remain in power next year and beyond? Stay tuned to Radio 1 FM 90. We'll continue after this break. Well, we're glad that you're still with us on Spectrum, live on Radio 1 FM 90. Today, my guest is the Honorable Engineer Ronald Balimwezo Nsubuga. He's the current Nakawa East Member of Parliament. He's a candidate for the Lord Mayor of Kampala Capital City, and he's from the National Unity Platform Party. He's sharing with us his vision, and we're trying to wonder what difference can NUP and Honorable Balimwezo bring to the management of the capital city, Kampala. Now, Honorable Balimwezo, let's look at some of the other key issues that continues to bedevil our city, Kampala. Traffic jams, flooding. Let's hear your vision and plan on that.
Flooding in Kampala, we lose over 240 man-hours because of floods and potholes in the city.
Floods and potholes.
The World Bank report of 2008 revealed that we lose $100 million by then, 2008, because of flooding. Today, it is estimated by Colas. Colas is one of the companies that is a UK company that is going to work on some of our roads in Kampala, that we lose 10 trillion, 240 man-hours, which is equivalent to 10 trillion every year in jam as a result of flooding and potholes. And therefore, we must address the issue of flooding. You're all aware that Kampala was made by God in the best way. It's one of the best natural cities. It had valleys, it had swamps in low-lying areas, and it had hills and flat land where one would build. In the ecosystem, the swamps are a filtering media that when it rains, every dirty stuff that runs with the stormwater is supposed to be filtered. That's water filtered by the swamps and goes into Lake Victoria clean. Today, majority of our ecosystem, the wetlands, have been degraded by the so-called tycoons. Government has given out titles from the very, very important ecosystem. And therefore, water, when it rains now, because people have over-constructed Kampala, we have quite big runoff, surface runoff. Surface runoff is that water that basically runs mukoka. Okitegera mukoka. Kwa mukoka mungi nnyo kubanga tuzimbye nnyo ettaka. Nti amazzi tekakya penetrating. Water does no longer infiltrate into the ground to get super saturated, and then we have that limited runoff. We have the Kampala Drainage Master Plan, which was a very good plan, where Nachivubo drain falls. And Nachivubo, for that reason, is one of the flood channels, a channel that is supposed to help us with floods. It receives over 60% of the surface runoff from Kampala. So this one is a part of that bigger drainage system, the Kampala Drainage Master Plan, which must be synchronized. The challenge is that it has taken ages to be implemented, and now people are implementing in piecemeals, but without aligning it with aligning the structures with the Kampala drainage master plan, which is a very big problem.
So you understand very well that Kampala has a drainage master plan that remains unfunded.
Unfunded.
And now we have a private individual who has come up to actually develop Nachivo Channel.
Yes.
You want to become Lord Mayor. You will find this plan on the shelves of KCCA with no funding. How do you address these issues of the drainage channels? Honorable Balimwezo.
Now, I told you that earlier, Sebana in his first term, the former Lord Mayor, the former mayor,
the late John
Sebana Chizito,
was a good mobilizer.
Was a good mobilizer,
funds.
Indeed,
that you said.
And yes.
At the moment, we have funding from the World Bank to handle issues of drainage channels.
Exactly.
But the government has not provided what they call the counterpart funding to compensate landowners who are near the drainage channels in order to construct a modern, sort of drainage channel where you can cover and also, provide amenities and other things. The government knows Kampala has a master plan.
It's unfortunate to hear that.
And you are in Parliament.
It's unfortunate to hear that
you passed these loans.
It's unfortunate to hear that Nachivo Channel was demarcated and titles created on it. This is a public channel that should be under the custody of KCCA. But I heard, and I want to find out, that actually Nachivo Channel has titles, individual titles. Very big problem. It's the role of the Lord Mayor to select, nominate the chairperson for the Kampala District Land Board. And I wonder how that came to be. So this is property for KCCA. But we have individuals owning titles for it. So it beats my understanding. So that should be the starting point. Who owns that land? Do we have titles that we have to compensate people? Do we have titles on public land that we have to compensate people? We have to carry out investigations. Which investigations I'm doing to establish whether actually we have titles on public channels.
All right. Let me not take you very far. Let me just give you an example of a businessman, Hamis Chigundu. I'm sure this matter has reached Parliament. You have seen the Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago complaining about it. There was an order by Parliament, but also KCCA, that he should stop all the activities he's doing on the channel. But as we speak now, the construction is going on. Let's hear your word on that.
What I heard was that KCCA sat, KCCA where the Lord Mayor sat, they had a council in which they resolved that they should partner with the private people to construct channels and make sure that some of these channels are covered. They did not speak about specific individuals like Ham. So there is a resolution to that effect.
Is it so?
Yes, exactly.
Let me tell you, the Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago says there has never been that kind of meeting.
There is a resolution.
The council, which is dominated by your member, NUP, chaired by one of the people who is running to be MP in Kampala district, Luyirika, also came out and said they have never had that kind of meeting.
No, the
resolution actually give
away. The resolution does not give
drainage
away
channels.
But it was very clear that because they have failed to get money from partners, donations, and KCC has not been given money to fund its drainage system. He said we should work out ways of making sure that we work with private partners to construct these drainage channels.
Do you have that on record? Or
it is on record.
It's hearsay?
No, it's not hearsay.
Passed by the council.
Passed by the council.
Led by NUP.
Led by NUP and the Lord Mayor, Lukwago, because he's part of the council, he's the political head. That resolution is there. He can come and assert to that. It is there. I read it. Even on one program, I gave it to the Honorable Narukola to interpret it, and they did it.
So
there is that resolution.
Both the Lord Mayor areas,
but they were not specific on who. Okay, it was not mentioning names of those private partners.
So are you surprised when Hamis Chigundo?
I was quite surprised.
Why would you?
Because
you know there was a resolution.
You know, when someone brings a proposal, that proposal should be evaluated. I am together with all the people that say we must improve our infrastructure, and in that case, our drainage systems, including the Chivo Channel. It must be improved because it was a menace. Actually, it is a menace. But it must be done under due process. It must be done with due process, which wasn't done. We must have had an Asia environmental social impact assessment report by NEMA clearing it, because it has an effect to the environment. Number two, it should have been approved by KCCA. It should have been evaluated by KCCA before commencement. They should have had a holding permit in that case, and approved the plan, approved by the competent authority, KCCA, which I haven't seen yet. It is not in any way the responsibility of the president to give out public land. But also important to note that on that land, there were people earning from there. Vulnerable people getting money from there and teaching their people. Taking their children to school, feeding their families. Today you come and you evict them without compensating them, without giving them hope. It's very bad. That's what I would love HAM to do. But for the construction, if it had been approved, it would be one of the wisest things to do.
All right.
And two, it's also important to note that one of the challenges they spoke about was that of garbage management, that people dump garbage in the channel. But the first thing they would have done is to make sure that they sensitize, because we have this habit of littering. So let us solve the garbage question, garbage management question, before even you begin constructing, because even now, people are going to be dumping garbage.
All right.
And eventually, because we don't know whether the channel has been narrowed, we don't know its design, because we have not looked at it. How about if tomorrow we over-constructed Kampala and the runoff, surface runoff increases? Are we going to demolish the buildings over it in case we have to expand, in case we have to reconstruct? So there are questions that should be addressed.
All right. Let's move on. There's the issue of the jam, very quickly before we hear from the listeners. The issue of the jam. We have a huge challenge with border borders, protected by you politicians.
Border
We have
borders,
issues of taxis.
border borders are not a problem. They only need to be organized. Border border provide over 30% of employment to our Ugandans. You are aware that Uganda, the government of Uganda only provides 400,000 jobs. But border border provides over 1.8 million jobs. And therefore, it is an industry that should be handled well. And it's the role of the Lord Mayor to make strategies for the border border, to make policies, to make programs for them. As Lord Mayor, I'm going to make sure that I do address their challenges and make them part of Kampala, because they are part of Kampala, and therefore they must enjoy in Kampala.
Are you aware of the Kampala Transport Master Plan?
I am. Yes.
Does it address this issue?
It does.
It's one of the document that the Honorable Arias
does,
Lukwago says this council came up with.
It must be implemented.
What would be your action point on the issue of
to lobby
transport
for,
in Kampala?
To lobby for its implementation, because you are aware that I told you that we can discuss with development partners to help us as a city. You know, this is the economic hub It is the economic hub. So we must make sure that we get funding from wherever we can. And it's the role of the road mayor.
Looks like you're going to mortgage our city.
Mortgage it out. Are those questions that were given to you to ask me?
No,
that I'm going to mortgage
because
the city?
All the time you're saying you're going to look at development partners.
Development partners. We have development partners. World Bank is our development partner. Has it taken the city?
They haven't, but
ADB is a development partner.
When I say mortgage, it means you're passing on the burden.
You're telling me now
to service the loans.
Not necessarily loans. You can even have grants.
Grants.
Majority of the roundabouts that JICA is helping us is a grant. Isn't the city developing? We have over 27 roundabouts. Signalized junctions that are being constructed by Japan, and these are basically they are grants from, and the Lord Mayor has a role to play in that. So I'm going to make sure that I lobbying friends, lobbying cities. We are going to make twinning relationships. Do we have any twinning relationship with any city here? We have cities out there that have garbage trucks that are ready to be offered. But have we had any twinning relationship? Tell me of any twinning relationship between Kampala and any other city that could be able to help us. Personally, I have over 4 trucks, garbage trucks now, helping my people in garbage management. So don't joke, we are lobbyists. I have lobbied for universities. We are constructing a university in my area. My students in some of the schools are feeding, and therefore they are not dropping out of school because we have a feeding program for them. You see? And I lobbied for 20 years.
All right.
Kids are eating.
All right.
The numbers have increased because of a middle meal. So the Lord Mayor should be able to lobby. You get my point?
Right.
I have ambulances in my constituency. These are helping my people. Tell me of anyone that has done that. Tell me of anyone that has made sure that you can lobby and have garbage trucks in operation in your city. Tell me of someone.
Well, I should tell you almost in all constituencies, MPs have bought ambulances.
No, the ambulances are there, but I'm talking about now the biggest challenge, which is garbage management.
That's a discussion over that.
Were you not shocked? Were you not shocked for some people to die of garbage that even now their bodies have never been retrieved?
All right. Let's hear your.
Do you remember a woman who died with her child in the chest, preventing her from suffocation?
I remember.
She died a miserable death.
I remember.
And therefore we must think about that.
So what do you do with the border borders? What do you do with the border borders? What's your strategy?
My strategy with border borders. One, it's an industry which is best known to them. So I will involve them in planning what we are going to do. And I've told my people already that we are trying to make sure that we pick out ideas from our people, because a manifesto is not an individual concept.
All right.
But it's a consultative thing that we have to do. Today I've received the mayors. We are going to sit with the mayors. We are going to sit with all those key stakeholders and draw our manifesto, which is going to be people-centered.
All right.
So I'm going to have that industry come on board, and we are going to discuss on how best we can have their industry grow stronger.
All right. Now, before we hear from the listeners, let's imagine Honorable Balimwezo wins the Lord Mayorship and is at City Hall, and then President Yoweri Museveni wins State House. What kind of relationship are you going to have with President Yoweri Museveni in managing the city? Because the city is literally under the central government with a minister.
I subscribe to a party called NUP. It's my party, a very strong party, with its president called Bobby Wine, the Honorable Kyagulanyi Sentamu. And I don't think beyond the box. It's Honorable Kyagulanyi who is going to be the president of Uganda. And in that case, he's going to send me a team, a very competent team that I'm going to work with.
That's why I say that.
The other one is I've worked before as a mayor. And I was able to do my mandate without visiting the president, but working on the programs that were available for me to execute. Yes.
Meaning?
We had the programs. You know, who heads the government?
The reason I'm asking you
Who heads the government?
The reason I'm asking you that
Yes.
is because we have seen constant battles between Erias Lukwago and the central government, headed by Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
The manifesto that we do implement is that for the running government. I am telling you that when I was a mayor, I was able to be nominated as one of the best mayors in the world.
When NRM was in power?
When the NRM actually was in power, I was nominated. The opposition mayor, because myself as a mayor, I am the running mayor, and my colleague is the opposition. The other colleague is the opposition. The NRM was the opposition. So I had to make sure that the programs run, for them to know that there is an opposition mayor, in quotes, but the running mayor that had good programs aligned to the big manifesto.
All right.
And I was able to score.
All right.
So it does not mean that I have to interface with the president for me to do my mandate.
All right. Very quickly, let's look at some of the comments that have come in from WhatsApp number where listeners have been sending in. We'll do a couple of them so that you can respond to them, Honorable Balimwezo. There are so many. But somebody writes in and says, what has the engineer done for Nakawa? Nakawa still has garbage everywhere. Why didn't he show his capabilities there so that we would have faith in him? He speaks exactly like Lukwago, but I'm sure after 5 years he will be yawning and realizing he's done absolutely nothing. That's a comment from Agnes, listening in from Kokonjeru. Kindly note down some of these comments.
You can't believe someone from Kokonjeru talking for Nakawa.
Welcome, engineer. You are the real leader we need. That's Thomas Ogwal, listening in from Luzira. Then we have another comment from Nsubuga Shafik, who says, hello, thank you so much for bringing Honorable Nsubuga. I think as long as the management of the city is still in the hands of the government, all the promises made by the aspirants are in vain. Let Mr. Balimwezo stop preaching what he can't do. Can he account for the 5 years he has been an MP? Let him give us projects conducted apart from presiding over football matches. Why have they not shared these good ideas to the ruling government to implement? Mr. Lord Mayor, I'm eagerly waiting for your submission on the border master plan you have for Kampala City. Please convince us that we shall give you votes. I hope you can see the challenge I'm talking about. That's a comment from Mercy. Ronnie Rice said, you present a beautiful speech about garbage management. Why haven't you practiced your garbage management script in your constituency as an MP so we would use it as a practical success story? Then we have another comment from Albert Wandera who says, Ken, well done. Thank you for hosting my MP. This is the only individual you can call anytime and will respond to crisis, whether you hail from his constituency or not. I want to thank him for not being tribalistic and treating everyone with a human heart. Okelo Patrick Bonyo from Busega, the engineer is really articulating the matter. He's not politicizing the debate, which is good. How do you intend to handle the issue of water scarcity in Kampala City? Water supply in Kampala is really a big challenge. Well, there are so many comments, but they're almost rotating around the issues we've been discussing. I want you to respond to these comments, but also give us your closing remarks.
I wish this program was 2 hours for me to be able to articulate all the questions in a proper and organized manner.
There will always be an opportunity in future.
Please accord me the same. Projects that I've done quite a number of projects under government and under myself. I want to tell you today we are proud to be exporting professional labor to countries like Qatar, because when I was invited in Turkey, I came out with knowledge of skilling our people, and later government benchmarked from me to have the skilling of the girl child. That was my project. But I went further to train my people and be able to improve the quality of our artisans. For instance, we assessed the artisans in their respective areas, and we are able to give them workers permits, workers passes from DIT. These are now working in Qatar. They were supposed to earn 1.2 million shillings, but today they earn 5.8 million shillings. So we added value to them, value over 4.6 million, everyone. So we are exporting that kind of trained labor to outside countries. I've been able to lobby for universities. We are constructing universities. I have schools. I've lobbied over 23 schools from Korea. They are being constructed all over this country. At least 3 of them are in my constituency. And children are studying free of charge. I've been able to procure at least 4 ambulances in my area. I've been able to make medical camps the biggest ever in the country, and some of which were benchmarked by URA. You can ask the URA team. I've been able to train my community in vocation skills. I have Barimwezo Community Foundation vocation skills, offering vocation, offering technical skills to our people. So I've done quite a lot other projects, including supervising government and lobbying government. We have a number of roads being constructed. I have garbage trucks helping my community. We are now sensitizing them on better practices of garbage management, and we are doing that, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm afraid time is not on our side. Very quickly, your closing remarks. What would you like to tell Ugandans? We've run out of time. We've run out of time. In 1 minute.
We have a leadership crisis in Uganda, and particularly Kampala. I'm leaving Parliament, where you said it's a good job, to come and offer myself as that leader that Uganda requires for the city. I want to see a Kampala grow into one of the best cities with almost 90% of the roads tarmacked, because roads provide 98% of the transport needs of Ugandans.
All right.
I am offering myself as that leader that will make Kampala look like the sitting room of Uganda. And for that reason, ladies and gentlemen, vote me as your Lord Mayor. I'm not going to fight any battle with anyone, but I'm going to see that Kampala grows into that city which will be your home.
All right, with that we come to the end of Spectrum. Thank you very much for tuning in. Tomorrow, 2 hours of analysis of the top events of the week during Spectrum Extra. Stay tuned, Radio 1 FM 90. The news in English is up next with Miss Josephine Dakano. Thereafter, we'll have the Soul Train with BB Jr.